What is going on, everyone? It is Tal, and I'm bringing you my Week 7 match going against the Trevidence here and Jay. Big win last week. We are now 6-0. Basically guaranteed playoffs. A couple matches still haven't happened for week 6 yet, but I believe it's guaranteed that we make playoffs. The way that the playoff format works, though, is that the top 2 seeds get a bye, so we're kind of looking for that to make our lives a little bit easier, maybe have a bit more time for prep and to, chill a bit, see how teams are preparing in playoffs, so that we have a little bit more of an advantage going into our first round. But still looking for that bye. We are 6-0, and yeah, we face possibly our toughest opponent yet in Jay here, having a really good season. Made a lot of changes though to his team that I'll cover right now. So his big hitters are that Meowscarada and the Terrakion. The Terrakion having that Sword of Ruin, which is going to be pretty prevalent this week. I believe that is the biggest threat into our team. Terrakion has really strong ground fighting and rock coverage, making it so basically can hit my entire team for really hard, mostly super effective damage. Meowscarada is also pretty scary, mostly because of the adaptability. Adaptability Flower Trick is pretty good into most of our team, as well as a knockoff could basically hit our entire team. So that combination is really tough. Flower Trick, of course, is not a contact move. We've made Umbreon's Fluffy a bit harder. It also always crits, so was thinking of some other options, maybe running screens, but it's a little bit tough because of the Flower Trick. Swampert and Metagross can be very good offensively or defensively. Swampert I am expecting to run a more defensive regenerator set going into this week, and Metagross could either be running full-on offense, Tough Claws, Choice Band if it really wants to, or it could be running the Filter, which makes it so it's a lot harder to KO with a lot of our Mons. Pheasantipity is actually one of the kill leaders this year. It has been running Sheer Force, Life Orb, and a special set that's pretty good into a lot of our team. Could hit Umbreon with Moonblast pretty hard, or just other mons with poison type moves, whether it's into the Scream Tail or the Zapdos, or even just the Blastoise for neutral damage. Could be pretty good. Has a couple different hazard setters that are something of note. Galvantula can have that Sticky Web, which is pretty notable here, as most of our team is not grounded outside of the Landorus and the Zapdos, and that is kind of an issue, as speed is going to be pretty prevalent in this matchup. Smeargle also has the Prankster if he does want to bring it. It's one of his new mons, but he could run either a Stone Axe and Ceaseless Edge set if he wants, maybe with a Corrosion with Toxic, or he could run just Spikes, Prankster, Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, Toxic Spikes. He can do any of that. So 2 mons that I'm thinking of that could be pretty prevalent in the hazard category. Galvantula also doesn't have the best matchup offensively into us, but it is really good into our Blastoise, which is a mon I kind of have to bring into this matchup because of just the threat of hazards. A couple other mons here which I'm not expecting. Some of the lower tier mons in Flygon and Electivire definitely could come, but I'm not expecting as much. Flygon could be okay with a tinted lens. Maybe if it really wants to run Swift Swim into our Chaladon, it is possible he could do that. I think it's a little bit unlikely, but could have some niche here. Electivire as well, if the Refrigerate could be something that he brings, maybe into our Landorus, maybe with a quick attack Refrigerate into Landorus, but again, don't really see it. Haven't mocked against those 2 mons. He also has the Poltegeist, another kill leader this year. He's been really successful with the Fez and the Poltegeist. The only thing is Poltegeist actually really doesn't have a great matchup into our team. We have a lot of mons that can, be special walls, such as the Muck or the Archaladon, and also just the Umbreon is something I've brought week in and week out, and Poltegeist can really do nothing into it. Even if he's, Shell Smash over and over with that, if we have Foul Play on the Umbreon, it makes Poltergeist have a really bad time. Final 2 mons are the Charizard and the Tornadus, both of which I could possibly see coming. Tornadus more than the Charizard. Both of them could stop the Archaladon Primordial C, but at the same time, I think Tornadus may be a little bit better here, just as a little bit more coverage. Charizard really can't hit as much, and I think the Delta Stream with Tornadus is also pretty big because of mons like the Zapdos or the Archaladon trying to get off those Electroshocks, or even just ice moves coming out from maybe a Hisui and Arcanine with the Refrigerate, or like an Ice Punch from the Okidoki. So There's a lot that I just went over, but this is a really scary matchup. It's one of the biggest of the season, as this could really decide if we get the bye or not, so really want to take this seriously. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, keep some of my game plan behind the scenes, and I am keeping some of it behind the scenes, but at the same time I needed the best angle for this match, as he is fighting for playoffs and for a top seed, and we're fighting for that top seed. Not playoffs as much, but it still matters just as much. So the first mon we are bringing is going to be the Archaladon. We are bringing an Assault Vest set, a lot of speed here, a lot of HP, and a lot of defense special attack. I believe that we could take a close combat or an Earthquake from that Terrakion, even with Sword of Ruin. We do have enough speed to outspeed a no speed investment Pheasantipede, so even though Flash Cannon actually doesn't do a crazy amount unless we're boosted up a bit from the Electric Shock, really wanted to, outspeed it, because that could, I haven't run any speed on Archaladon all season, I don't believe, so it could be a little bit of a shock. We have that Electric Shock. He doesn't have a really prevalent water type. Swampert is his water type, and it doesn't take anything from the Electric Shock, but still just getting those boost up is pretty good. Can maybe hit it into the Metagross and then go for a Dark Pulse. So it's just a good, solid move overall. And even against a Tornadus, if we click it, he goes in, he's Delta Stream, we get it on the second turn, it's fine, because even if it goes for a Focus Blast, we are Assault Vest, and although we don't have any special defense investment, it's okay, because we're going to be taking the hits pretty well. Next one we are bringing is going to be the Screamtail, brought out week in and week out. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Terrakion. Now you may be wondering, he does have a Tornadus, same base speed, why are we not doing that? I did think that it didn't really matter as much with the Tornadus. We're taking the hits pretty well, and unless it's like specs and we're really low, the speed in that situation isn't going to matter as much. We are Expert Belt this week instead of choice specs, which we've been running. It's just because of a lot of his mons being able to take the hits a little bit better, and I want to be able to switch in and out. A big part is that we're running Psy Shock this week. This is mainly for the Pheasantipede, actually almost specifically because of the Pheasantipede, as its defense is much worse than its special defense, and I want to be able to get big hits off, and Psy Shock with Expert Belt should be able to two-shot it no matter what. We are running that Encore as well. This could be something to throw him off a little bit if he goes into Metagross. Metagross should be running like an Iron Defense, maybe Heavy Slam set with Body Press. And so if he goes Iron Defense and we have this mon in, we can Encore it and then just click Boom Burst. And even though it's resisted, it's still going to do a decent amount of damage. That Expert Belt as well is really big for the Grass Knot. The Grass Knot is only there for the Swampert, but also could catch something like the Terrakion on a switch in if we really need to, but is mostly there for the Swampert. Boomburst does do a decent amount for the Swampert, but it may be that little extra damage that I need that could make all the difference in this matchup. Third mon we're bringing almost the same set as last week, but we did need to run Blastoise this week. Max defense, max HP, just to take hits a little bit better from mons like the Metagross and the Terrakion. Still can't take hits from the Meowscarada as I'd like, but we do have other answers. And the Archaladon does triple resist the Meowscarada with its Flower Trick, so that is going to be something of note in this matchup. But we do have that Mirror Coat just in case, he wants to click a super, strong Moonblast from his Pheasantipede and we can get a Mirror Coat off. Or in his Tornadus' case, if he goes for a Bleak Wind or a Focus Blast, click Mirror Coat. We're not going to take a crazy amount of damage. Blastoise is pretty naturally bulky, and then dish out that Mirror Coat. Haze is good just in case he wants to set up with maybe the Poltegeist or Iron Defense on the Metagross, kind of a last-ditch effort, but we really need that Rapid Spin. This is basically here for the Rapid Spin. It's not a mon I really wanted to bring in this week. I think there's been 2 or 3 weeks I haven't wanted to bring Blastoise, but it's been our only form of hazard removal, which is something that, maybe I need to reconsider in the draft process, is just getting a couple more removers, just so that I don't have to completely rely on one mon. But Blastoise is decent in this matchup. It just has to worry about the Galvantula and the Meowscarada. Landorus coming out next. We have enough speed to outspeed a max speed Jolly Meowscarada here with our Choice Scarf, running almost a rest into HP, and then max special attack Modest. Running U-Turn just for general pivot ability, Terra Blast with the Aerial Light so that it turns into a flying type move, which is good into his Meowscarada, and then into most of his mons just for neutral damage. Earth Power is something I would like to spam here. It's great in the Metagross, Pheasantipede, into the Terrakion, so that is a move I would like to be clicking. And again, the Grass Knot can just do huge damage into that Swampert that I may need. Swampert has been probably one of the biggest issues. That and Tracheon and Mox, those are the two biggest issues I've been facing. So just kind of want to keep those in check. Landorus is going to be probably a mon that I lead off with, but is also going to be more of a late game mon. So I think this is a mon that we're going to have to rely on heavily throughout this match, and I'm hoping I can get some big KOs with it. Haven't brought it in a couple weeks, but I think, you know, I was looking at the matchup and I thought this was the best mon going into this matchup. Arguably, if I could bring 6 Landoruses into this matchup, I would, just because I feel like it's so good outside of maybe like a Choice Scarf Meowscarada or maybe another mon running Choice. The reason we're not running more speed is just because I don't really see him running a Choice Scarfer. I think Meowscarada, you know, is a mon he could run Choice Scarf, but if he is, then he's not running Choice Band, and then he's doing less damage, and I think that's okay in the long run. Registeel going to come out with the same set as last time, except instead of leftovers, we are going to be running the Choppleberry. So max HP, max defense. This is to take hits from the Tracheon a bit better. This is so that we could take a close combat from the Tracheon, hit it with a body press, and after it's -1, we will knock it out basically 100% of the time. So another mon that could be our lead could get a Stealth Rock up. He doesn't have any form of removal outside of the Smeargle, so that is something of note as well. Thunderwave as well, because Thunderwave spam on his team is really nice for the Fez, for the Tracheon, for the Meow, basically anything. Another check as well into the Meowscarada. Flower Trick really can't do much damage into us, but that Choppleberry is going to be something of note. We are running the Earth Eater ability, so that Terrakion can only hit us with fighting type moves if it wants to, and Swampert as well can't touch us outside of maybe water type attacks or a knockoff. The final mon we are running is a Sword of Ruin, max attack, max HP, okie dokie. We are running that Shukaberry. This is specifically, again, for the Terrakion, or maybe even something like the Flygon. We can take the ground type hits that Terrakion thinks will OHKO us, take the hit, and then hit it with a Drain Punch, get all of our health back, and then be in a pretty good position. Even against the Swampert, it can be pretty good. I've had some mocks where I get one Bulk Up, and that's the end of the game. I could basically just click Drain Punch. If I hit Gunk Shot on the Fez, it's pretty good. Fez may want to come in against us, and Gunk Shot still does so much, and especially with a Bulk Up or two, will one-shot that thing. So that is going to be the team for this week. 5 of the last 6 mons, which is pretty interesting, just outside of Landorus, but I think it's the best 6 I could bring this week. I did a lot of mocks. I think it's a really difficult matchup for us, and I think that it's going to be a really good battle. Hopefully, we can take home the W, but yeah, that is going to be it for this week, and I will see y'all in the battle. Peace out, everybody.